welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Labor Day. Happy Labor Day for each and every one of you. I hope you guys are enjoying it with your family, hanging out, having a good time, barbecue with some friends, having a, getting your drink on. Just kidding. No. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do not, we don't, we, what is it? Oh my God, what's the word? Oh, it's killing me. Uh, Anyways, hope you guys are having a great time. Yeah, let's go ahead and dig on into this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today. Obviously, we're going to talk about some WWE Smackdown. Kind of want to talk about the parts that really, honestly, weren't such a kind of hidden under the radar in terms of Bash at Berlin. Obviously because we had a lot of that. We have a lot of that when we were in our third segment, and then we're going to talk about in our second segment. We have our Monday Night Raw preview. Make sure you catch that. We're going to talk. We're going to throw a little bit of prediction and analysis of what's going to go on heading toward WWE Bad Blood. A third segment, we're going to cover all of what happened at WWE Bash at Berlin. Fourth segment, we're going to talk about all NXT No Mercy. We're going to talk about that. In our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about the WWE Women's Speed bracket. I'm going to unveil it. I'm going to talk about it, maybe throw a little bit of predictions a little bit for the first round. Don't want to get too overzealous. Although I did predict the men's WWE Speed, but that was pretty easy. Obviously, I knew once when they created that it was going to be for Ricochet. So yeah. All right, guys, before we get into any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest and you want to share. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively and making sure your voice is part of the mix, so don't be shy. Drop your thoughts in the chat, and if you really, really, really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that $ below the chat box, and it's guaranteed that your question and comment will be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats helps us keep the lights on and bring you even more awesome wrestling content. So we are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who join us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's get this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together, we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, remember we still have the gsmcpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your predictions. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, and here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So send in those super chats, those super stickers, because I super love you guys. All right, let's talk about some. Okay, there we go. Let's talk about some WWE. Let's talk about some SmackDown. SmackDown. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode. You know, um, for me, it was kind of like you saw SmackDown at Bash at Berlin, but I think it was just for the WWE Championship. Obviously, you saw, the open challenge between the LA Knight and, Ludvig Kaiser, which was a great match. All in all, I thought it was a great match. I think it was important for Ludvig Kaiser. This match definitely gives people the notion, gives people just the thought of, can Ludwig Kaiser eventually be a singles champion? And I think he can. I think 1,010% he can. He showed it when he was fighting the LA Knight. I still kind of feel like the LA Knight belongs in the heavyweight division, but oh my God, there's such discrepancy between the United States Championship contenders and the WWE title contenders. Usually, there's not a lot of that. When you saw WCW, you had the World Championship, then you also had the Television Championship. Nothing really, but you also had the United States Championship. But it was like, I don't know. I feel like it it was like it kind of separated the superstars better that way. Excuse me, sorry. It's hot, sweaty, sweat in my eye. Um, so here on SmackDown, I feel like they need a little bit more big guns. Main eventers, I can only think of three. Obviously, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton. There's a lot of people knocking on that door, like the LA Knight, like Kevin Owens, and I still don't see Solo Sikoa as a main Carter, but we'll get into that later. So the LA Knight was able to successfully retain his WWE United States Championship against the German Ludvig Kaiser, obviously coming home to a standing ovation. It was kind of cool to kind of, see him in that, in Germany, you have Gunther and you have Ludwig Kaiser. They're going to be in that babyface role, which was, kind of already, predetermined and anticipated. That's the reason why they had Ludwig Kaiser answer the open challenge instead of maybe including somebody like Solo Sikoa, maybe Roman Reigns or maybe John Cena or something like that. But all in all, I felt like it was overall a good match. Michael Cole said as soon as we came on the air that it was the first time they've been in Germany for 27 years. Michael Cole was actually announcing next to Wade Barrett. I kind of like that. I know when WWE Smackdown comes to the USA Network, there's going to be I think they're going to be on SmackDown. I think it's going to be him and Corey on SmackDown, and then on Raw. Oh, I forgot their names. Oh, but just I don't. I've never seen. Well, I pretty sure. I don't want to say I've never seen them before because they're like, "Hey, Eric, like you're a wrestling fan. What do you mean you've never seen them before?" But to be honest, they're not really any big names like going on WWE Raw. And then, Raw only has about a couple more months until it is aired on Netflix on the streaming services. I hope that WWE really extends out to re-sign Mauro Ranallo. I feel like that would be really great for the announce team for Monday Night Raw. Keep him away from Corey Graves because Corey Graves was kind of a jerk and kind of bullied him to get out of WWE, which is all bad. That's the reason why I kind of don't like Corey Graves, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Next, we had Apollo Crews teaming up with Baron Corbin. This team is actually pretty legit. I like them. They're a pretty decent tag team. I feel like after a couple of more tag team bouts under their belt, they're going to be seriously considered as one of the main tag team contenders on WWE SmackDown. Because right now, like I kind of mentioned so much before in previous podcasts, that it seems like in WWE, the tag team division is you kind of have three guys, kind of like that's how it's always been, ever since the early 2000s with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys. And then, in like the Ruthless Aggression era, where you kind of had to force teams like Batista and Rey Mysterio. You had the, create Rated RKO with Randy Orton and Edge. And, then it went to the New Day team going against the Usos, and a lot of the time I feel like the WWE tag team division needs a reboot. I feel like it needs a reboot 1,010%. I feel like on WWE NXT it's pretty good. I feel like it's pretty good. On AEW I like it. It could be better. On TNA I think they're doing great. On Ring of Honor I think they're doing fantastic. But overall, I know WWE needs a serious reality check in terms of the WWE Tag Team Championship division. Maybe just make it one division, kind of make it like the women's division. Um, obviously you do have the WWE champions and you have the WWE World Tag Team champions, but it's not the same when you have somebody like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller holding those titles. For me, it kind of denounces the name of the tag team division in general. I feel like it, kind of puts a heavy burden on the tag team belts because, but then again, I don't want to sound like a huge hypocrite because I'm rooting for Sami Zayn and Jey Uso to win the tag team title. So I know that could be a little hypocritical, but, I don't know. Like, if there's such few tag teams to be successful, you know, obviously with the implementation of the new young bloodline, Tongaloa and Tomatonga, who won the tag team titles way too fast, might I add. That's my belief. They kind of have a stronghold on the tag team division with that. I feel like that's the only reason why they kind of had those secondary belts because usually, even, when it comes to the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, usually one title, there's someone that has a stronghold on that, and also the women's title and the World Women's, like there's reasons why they have two belts. There's a reason why they have two belts. Obviously, you don't want to have too many. I know AEW is being constantly criticized for having too many belts, but at this point in time in wrestling, how there's so many wrestlers, so many talented superstars in the women's division, in the men's division, men's tag team, even women's tag team. It's, I don't know, I just feel like it's appropriate. It's appropriate, especially with the new, merging of the TKO holdings with the UFC and WWE. You know, the UFC has a bunch of belts too, but, because it's an it is a combat sport. It is a combat sport. It's, full contact. So I feel like there's a little less hate, I guess you can say, because you're like, okay, you kind of have to have weight classes. You have to have weight classes. I've kind of, advocated this to kind of come to WWE. I would love to see WWE have like a welterweight championship or maybe like a bantamweight championship, kind of like a, glorified cruiserweight championship, or like something for the women's as well. That's why the secondary titles are in motion. The WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, also the WWE Women's United States Championship is in the works. So I don't know. All in all, I feel like it could be better. The tag team division could be a hell of a lot better. But under the Triple H Bolovek era, I feel like it's growing pains. We're taking small steps toward a better future, and yeah, honestly, can't wait to get totally excited. For Legado del Fantasma, they were able to pick up the victory today because they cheated, they cheated. Um, Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. I hope this doesn't encourage them to break up. You saw them backstage in a promo later on in SmackDown. Between Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, where Grayson Waller once again, kind of putting words in Austin Theory's mouth, and Austin Theory's starting to grow tiresome of that. And I think this is a babyface turn that I think a lot of the WWE universes want. This is what I want. I feel like Austin Theory is a very talented superstar. I feel like, the United States Championship, it's good for him, but I don't think it doesn't make it does, I don't know, it just doesn't make up status quo. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like he's better than that. I can see him in the main event, kind of position. He's gotten compliments before, from veteran wrestlers like Randy Orton, like John Cena, who believe that Austin Theory has a lot of potential to hold a WWE title. And I feel like that'll all work out once when you kind of get rid of this whole you know rugged tag team division on WWE Smackdown. All right, next we see in a promo that Solo Sikoa addresses the not NXT, addresses next week's tag match. So you have you're gonna have the Bloodline taking on DIY, going up against the Street Profits, and just the mere fact that the Bloodline wasn't really featured on a WWE PLE, I feel like it overall hurt the I feel like it hurt the bloodline. I do. I believe 1,010%. A lot of people think that once when you hear the bloodline, you think of success. You think of them being kind of relatable to everything that WWE wants to kind of set forth. And they kind of took a seat, on the bench. It's kind of like seeing, one of your star players take a seat on the bench, and you're like, dude, what are they like? It should be, because I want to see more of this Solo Sikoa storyline. I do. I feel like Solo Sikoa, what he's doing right now with his new young bloodline, attacking Roman Reigns, attacking Paul Heyman, getting rid of Jimmy. And, he said he's coming for the WWE Championship. So whatever that means, he's gonna fight Cody again. I don't really believe it. And I don't know. I feel like Solicico was pushed way too early, and you're kind of seeing that right now with them not being on a WWE PLE. I feel like it's kind of stuck in that same box, in terms of hey, did we kind of overstep our boundaries here? Did we kind of force the subject a little bit? Should we have kind of waited for Roman to come back before Solo Sikoa started becoming, this larger than life, or he should have got a. I thought it would have been better for him and the storyline for this new young bloodline. Now, I'll keep it brief because we have to get through it all. Is that he needed some time to just plow through some guys, get some wins under your belt, become this dominant force ever since Roman left. And you maybe had a month or a month and a month and a half tops of top of that, but it just I don't know, it just wasn't it just seemed forced, and it still kind of does seem forced because he wasn't on WWE Bash at Berlin. Like he's not that relative. He's not that much of a big deal to be featured on something like Bash at Berlin. So I feel like that definitely hurt the sanctity. Also, just the name of the bloodline. And for upcoming weeks, but I feel like they're gonna try their best to kind of fix that. Next, we have Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes go face to face. Like I said, more or less kind of like a Bash of Berlin thing. Bitter that his title reign was tainted, and he only won the title because of Triple H, and that's true. 110% that's true. Kevin Owens hasn't held a singles championship in 7 years. He's last time he won was the Universal Championship in 8 years ago, which is kind of crazy. I feel for Kevin Owens. He's a great superstar, but so far I don't know. He's just been you know he's been wrestling in mid card matches, finding factions, turning on his partner, finding another faction, turning on his partner. And then, like, I don't know if right now it just kind of feels like overall just the same story in terms of, Kevin Owens and the WWE. But if they're hoping to, kind of keep him, under his contract, they got to do something with him. I 1010%, I would contemplate, but, most importantly, I would just, what? I would love to see a match between LA Knight and Kevin Owens where Kevin Owens wins the United States Championship. It's to the point where Kevin Owens has been, biting, clawing, and scratching his way up to the top and not really being shown any kind of respect here. So overall, I don't know. It's, last highlight he had was winning the tag team titles with Sami Zayn of WrestleMania week 1 main event. No, week 2 main event, I think it was. No, wait, week 1. Damn it. No, week 2. I think it was week 2. Night 2, sorry. But I don't know. I think Kevin Owens could do a lot better. Like I said, Andrade loses against Carmelo Hayes. The series is tied 2-2, so we need a tiebreaker to happen. Giovanni Vinci cuts a good promo. Something that kind of randomly popped up, and if you watch WWE Smackdown, you saw the cricket commercial between where you saw the Alpha Academy, you saw Chad Gable and Otis, kind of being buddy buddy. Where I don't really understand why that commercial's still out. You probably will watch it on WWE Monday Night Raw tonight. Just giving you a heads up. And lastly, we have the WWE Women's Championship match contended in a street fight where you had the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax defend her championship against Michin. It was kind of funny overall how Michael Cole brought up the fact that Michin was a former TNA Knockouts World Championship, which means that this full swing between TNA and the WWE is in full collaboration, which is great. I feel like they kind of understated a lot of the TNA talent because, it's TNA. It's TNA. A lot of people, it's TNA. Like what Wesley likes to say to Zachary once is, "Oh, you're just using the WWE title. I'm a WWE superstar. You're just a TNA wrestler." Like there's some kind of like indictment in being a TNA wrestler. So, doesn't mean you suck. Doesn't mean you're less better. There's a lot of great TNA. There's a lot of great wrestlers that stop in TNA, find themselves, then move on. There's some superstars that are amazing in TNA and they made it to the WWE and killed it. But thanks to WWE creative writing, before the Paul Levesque era, during the Vince McMahon era, didn't really work out. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy. You saw Tiffany Stratton kind of contemplate and cashing in her Money in the Bank, and then you also saw Bayley make her return. She hasn't been seen ever since she lost the title to Nia Jax at SummerSlam just a month ago. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our second segment. We're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We talked about some of the things other than, what built up to WWE Bash at Berlin, because, SmackDown technically only had one match. To be honest, they really honestly did have one match at Bash of Berlin, because mostly they were, you had the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, kind of, they were in the mix, but overall, it's it wasn't like a singles competition thing, what I'm trying to say. Um, all right. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into our next segment. WWE Monday Night Raw. Let's go ahead and get through this. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up that tips and donations link. Also, hit up that super chat to give super thanks. Whether if you got a burning question or if you just have something on your mind that you want to get off your chest, this show is all about keeping the conversation alive, keeping it, keep the party going in terms of, podcasting, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts, drop your comments inside the chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment gets noticed, make sure you use that super chat. It's that $sign below that chat box. Send in that message. It'll guarantee that it'll be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to make sure this podcast keeps going. Keep all this wrestling content that you guys love so damn much. Keep it alive. Let's keep it alive. So absolutely, before anything happens, just want to make sure that you guys know that you guys are appreciated. We are absolutely 110% super grateful for each and every one of you guys who follow us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make sure the show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But if the super chat is not your thing, we are still at the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up that super chat. Hit up the tips. Damn it. Hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here in the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. So, don't be shy. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. And don't be sorry. Just do it. Just make it like Nike and just do it. Just do it. All right, Monday Night Raw. We are live tonight in Denver, Colorado, where you saw WWE NXT No Mercy take place at the Ball Arena. Of course, that's where you see the Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets play on when the NBA season is in full swing. But I tell you what is in full swing. It's the NFL season. Man, it's football's back. Football is back, baby. Can't wait to find out who's going to. I don't know if there's any Kansas City Chiefs fans out there, and I don't hate that that there are. I'm a New York Giants fan, so most likely it's going to be a pretty grim season. I'm just hoping for more than 5 wins. That's shooting low. I'm holding my standards pretty low because I know my team. I love my team. I love my team. I just they're in the NFL right now. If you don't have a top elite quarterback like your Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, if you don't have a top elite quarterback, I feel like Daniel Jones is right there. I feel like he's right there. I feel like the New York Giants, they're not going to have that much of a bad season as people, are going to predict. But I don't know. It's just, hoping for the Giants. But we are not a football talking podcast. If you want to watch football or hear about football, hit up the GSMC Football Podcast with my boy Kenneth, that Chip Shop Football Podcast with my boy Manny. You get all your cool, NFL factoids, leading into the NFL season. So make sure, if you have if your team that you love so much, make sure that's the podcast you love so much, because you get all the breaking news, all the major headlines in terms of the NFL. All right, so Monday Night Raw, the Alpha Academy is taking on the American Made. This is a mixed 3-on-3 tag team match. It's to the point, I don't know why these guys are still kind of going at it. I feel like Alpha Academy, they need a place. I feel like this win is pivotal. They have to win. If you see Otis, Tozawa, and Maxime Dupree accept another loss this week, it's gonna be bad. They might as well just leave WWE. And I'm not trying to say that to like be like, oh, damn, Eric, you're a little harsh there. But like WWE creative, if you can't do something right now with the superstars, like it's I don't know. The American made, the Creed brothers are successful. They're really, really good. Last week you saw Avi Nile being attacked by Nikki Cross of the Wyatt Six. Are they going to get into it again? Is it going to be the same thing? Basically, a rerun of what happened in last week? Is it going to be a wash, rinse, and repeat over and over again? Are we going to see the Wyatt Six attack the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile? Honestly, I love it whenever the Wyatt Six do come out. Obviously, my man Bray Wyatt up there. But it's to the point where, like, if it's just going to be the same thing happening over and over again, like, something needs to change. Something needs to be different. Better promotional, better bookings. I could see a promotion right here where if you do have the Wyatt Six come out, and I'm just kidding. I think it's going to be all failure. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. JK LOLs. But I don't know. I just want to see something different. And I feel like the wrestling fans right now are too, especially on WWE Raw. You're getting a lot of repetitive nature here, especially with the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. I had so much hope on the promo that Drew McIntyre cut last week. And then once again, he was attacked by CM Punk. He's, they're going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight as well. Same things are probably if it happens again where one of them cuts a promo and the other one attacks the other one. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. Drew McIntyre's like, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'll challenge you to a cage match at bad blood, like it's we've all seen it before. Something big needs to happen between these two superstars for it to kind of regain its nature of unpredictability. I know a lot of people hate on the word unpredictability in terms of talking about professional wrestling because it is choreographed, it is scripted, but it's all gravy, baby. It's all great. But this needs to be done well. And so far, it has a lot of loose ends to it. Right now, I feel like WWE under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, I feel like right now, they're kind of getting, as a wrestling fan, and this is how I feel personally myself, is you're getting, stimuli from every other place, from all these other storylines that you're kind of grabbing that they kind of feel like, they're like, hey, like, let's have this thing, between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And if something doesn't quite go as planned or it doesn't, edge people the way that they, want it to be, then it's okay. Like it's okay. We can just run it for a couple of weeks. But if this thing does last more than more past Survivor Series, CM Punk debuted in WWE last year in Survivor Series, and it's just I don't want to just see the same other. I don't want to see the same nature. I just want to be surprised. And so far, with the strap match thing, not really impressed. Not really impressed. But we'll get more into it when we talk about Bash at Berlin. So yeah, we have the Alpha Academy taking on American Made. Next, we have a number one contenders match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We have Damage Control going up against the Unholy Union, and Damage Control better win. Damn, uh, I don't really want to see another rematch between these girls. I'm done. They've been on they've been on WWE Friday Night Smackdown in 3-on-3 matches with Naomi and Blair Davenport, and they fought each other twice, and it's just. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying these girls aren't talented. I'm not saying it's going to be a giant snooze fest if you see the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn get another chance at the WWE World Tag Team Championships. But Damage Control, they're former tag team champions as well, so they can hold those championships with dignity. Right now, they're kind of on the cusp of being kind of like a babyface, but you do have, Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler and Sonya Deville, kind of luring in the back a little bit there. What is it? Pure Fusion Collective. Got to be honest, don't love the name that much. Maybe I'll grow accustomed to it, But if they find themselves into interfering in tonight's match, I don't know. It's just I don't want it to be like a giant crap show. You know what I mean? Like the WWE Women's Division right now. I feel like it's there. It's not like WWE NXT. I feel like WWE NXT's women's division is probably the best in professional wrestling like standards right now. But right now on Raw especially right now, your champion Liv Morgan can't even defend her title, man. Like it's crazy. And in my opinion, I just don't think she's that good. And like I said, I'm not a huge Liv Morgan hater. I do like Liv Morgan in some sort of spots. I like her. I honestly love Liv Morgan more as a chaser than a champion. I feel like once she kind of gets on a roll to kind of try to fight for the championship, I feel like it's better. This whole storyline with Dirty Dom, you're kind of seeing right now, another thing on Monday Night Raw that I'm going to talk about. Actually, what I'm not going to talk about is the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day has lost its spark. With the departure of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, like it's not really number one list anymore. I remember a couple podcasts ago talking about Monday Night Raw, the preview and the review shows on Monday and Tuesdays. I would talk about the Judgment Day probably for like 8 or 10 minutes. But now this is probably all I'm going to talk about Judgment Day. I don't know. I just feel like overall, something on Monday Night Raw, especially heading into the Netflix era, something's going to have to give. I feel like they kind of have 4 months to kind of, fix things, spruce things up before The Rock comes in and starts cleaning house. But I don't know. It's good. It's good content, but I feel like it could be better. I feel like it could be better. Next, we have Zelina Vega taking on Shayna Baszler. That match is, obviously going to be a W for Shayna Baszler. Or Zelina Vega finds a way to steal the win. But if Vega wins and Baszler loses, this pure Fusion Collective faction, it's going to be like damn near dead. It's going to be basically damn near dead because Sonya Deville created this faction about a month ago. And so far, they just lost match after match. And if they win, they have to cheat. And you don't really get to see the athletic abilities of Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, or Sonya Deville. And overall, you do create a faction. But there also needs to be some skill that comes entwined with that. Like where you saw WWE Evolution, with Triple H and Batista and Ric Flair. All those guys had successful singles career. D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, even Damage Control when you had the, successful Bayley. And right now, I feel like factions in terms of the women's division aren't really as successful as the men's. But, although it is 1,010%, the talent is there. I'm not trying to, create scrutiny between the men and women's division. I feel like the women's wrestling is, especially now, growing up during this new era of wrestling, as a wrestling fan, I feel like it's a main staple in trying to get viewers to basically attend and watch your show. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. NXT, obviously, it's killing it right now. But I just needed a little more love in the women's division here. Next, we have Ilya Dragunov taking on Dragon Lee against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. A triple threat match to see who gets that spot in that fatal four-way match. It's going to be exciting. My pick would probably be Ilya Dragunov. I feel like he's going to pick up the dub. Obviously him and the WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker has a lot of unfinished business. Last time we saw Dragunov was he forfeit. Basically, he wasn't able. They stopped the match and Braun Breaker was able to pick up the victory. And it would be kind of cool to see each other, to see them kind of meet once again. Next, we have Sheamus taking on Ludvig Kaiser and Bronson Reed. Who's going to join Jey Uso and Pete Dunne at this point? I like the ovation that Ludvig Kaiser got on WWE Smackdown, but of course that was in Germany, so it's not the audience's feelings aren't really going to be reciprocated tonight on WWE Monday Night Raw. Bronson Reed is an absolute wrecking crew. If he makes it, I don't think he's going to be able to fight Braun Breaker one-on-one. It might be, there might be a part in the match where, you kind of have a, when they get rid of Jey Uso and Pete Dunne are outside of the ring elsewhere, and you see Bronson Reed staring dead in the eyes of Braun Breaker, staring from corner to corner, and you get Michael Cole's like, "Oh my God, these two heavyweights are going at each other! The ultimate badass against the Suna!" I can see something like that. I can see something like that happening. Sheamus and Ludvig Kaiser have a lot of unfinished business left, so it's my, I feel like the thing that makes the most sense is Bronson Reed moving on. So that's my opinion, 1,010%. All right, guys. So that was my WWE Monday Night Raw preview. Now we're going to jump on into our WWE Bash of Berlin talk. We're going to talk about all the matches, maybe, future storylines and, what could make the WWE better. In my opinion, 1,010%. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Pacific on the GSMC Sports Network, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage rumors. Also, we talk about superstar, inactivity, also injury updates and statuses and contract negotiations and stuff like that. We touch on promotions from WWE to AEW to Ring of Honor, TNA, the GCW, also the NWA. If it makes wrestling, professional wrestling headlines in the sports entertainment business news, we talk about it here on the GSMC Sports Network. All right. So, it's kind of reflecting on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review. We had my WWE Monday Night Raw preview, and now we're going to talk about some WWE Bash at Berlin. So let's go ahead and hit on to it. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up that chat once more time before before we don't, remind you guys. Bet you a lot of you guys are like, you know what? I like segments 4 and 5 because this guy doesn't pull our ears to send some super thanks. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. But overall, if you guys have a burning question in terms of professional wrestling or just something you want to share, we are all ears here at the GSMC Sports Network. So don't be shy. Your thoughts honestly mean a hell of a lot to us. I love it when there's a lot of back and forth banter in terms of professional wrestling. Make sure you leave a comment or a question. So to be featured on the show, keep the lights on this podcasting network to keep even more awesome wrestling content that you love so much coming to you. Also, we are grateful for each and every one of you guys who joined us here daily. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep this conversation going, keep the party going. And once again, at the GSMC, if the super chat thing is not of your liking, we are still at the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. And, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Leave a positive review here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. Superman, punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, and I guarantee you, I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will never, ever, 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 ever be upset that you guys, subscribe to this amazing podcast full of amazing sports podcasters who share the same passion for sports like you guys do. So, all right. So WWE Bash of Berlin review. All in all, I gotta be honest. I liked it. It got a really, really good rating in terms of international and this was the best WWE gate or something like that. I think I read that on Inside the Ropes or something like that. But I didn't think it was that great. And I don't know if that's the oldness of me. Maybe I'm not catching on to this new era of professional wrestling because maybe I just want too much. Maybe I just want too much. It's not, it was good. It was good. It wasn't, something to be like, oh my God, that was a failure. No, it wasn't anything like that. But I just feel, well, why do I feel like that's the overall message of today? WWE is good, but it could be better. It feels like I'm like a public relations representative, and I'm sending out a press release or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's get on into it. So all the baby faces won, besides by Gunther, but Gunther is a baby face in Germany and stuff like that in the European kind of sector. The Terror Twins defeated Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. I guess it was a good match. And I'm not trying to sound like a jerk because I'm I guess I'm some kind of wrestling, expert and nothing. If you do like the match that you are a nerd and that you do not know good wrestling. I'm not one of those wrestling podcasts. If you enjoyed this overall PLE, that's cool. That's the name of the game. You know what I mean? This match though, it was exactly what we expected it to be. We knew the Terror Twins were going to win. This was just honestly a great way to build up for WWE Bad Blood. I kind of took that match like that. Because of this match, we have two matches that are probably going to be announced at Bad Blood. We're going to have Rhea Ripley taking on Liv Morgan for the WWE World Women's Championship, probably taking place in a Hell in a Cell, because that's kind of Rhea Ripley's. She's out for blood. She wants to kill Liv Morgan for taking everything from her, and I feel like that'd be appropriate. And then, of course, we're gonna have Damian Priest taking on the new leader of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor. So we have those two matches in set right now. Will Finn Balor still be the WWE one half of the tag team champions? I honestly don't know. I don't think it would be ideal if he was. Maybe they find a way to drop the belts to a tag team on like the Raw before or something like that, because Damian Priest, finds a way to screw over his former friend Finn Balor to kind of pay homage and kind of, like a little bit of payback, because that's the reason why he lost to Gunther at WWE SummerSlam, was because the fallout of the Judgment Day, and you saw Finn Balor completely just, destroy everything that the Judgment Day stood for, brotherhood, you know what I mean? Which is kind of crazy because, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor together, they killed out Edge and the Judgment Day. So, could this be poetic justice? Maybe. I'm just kidding, no. But anyways, next we have the WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. This match, I thought it was a good match. It was a good match. Okay, do not hate me. I feel like overall it was a pretty good match. Um, Cody Rhodes is, he's hot right now. He's absolutely high right now in terms of the professional wrestling spectrum. This match was decent, but that's nothing else kind of happened after that. Kevin Owens, like I said, 7 years since his last singles title, crazy, and he didn't have a heel turn. He didn't have a heel turn. KO had moments where he could have targeted the knee and could have, he two stunners wasn't enough to knock down the American Nightmare and win the WWE Championship. Overall, I feel like the match was good for Owens, though. I feel like it was a great match for Owens. Obviously, I'm not used to seeing Kevin Owens fight in matches where, you know, where people come in and they interfere, and that's the reason why he wins. But then that's another reason why on WWE Smackdown he mentioned about his title reign kind of being tainted because of what happened with Triple H, and because he was teaming up with Chris Jericho and he helped him defend the WWE Universal Championship, which he won about 8 years ago. And like it sucks to be Kevin Owens. You have a contract lingering out. I feel like you stop negotiations. WWE has extended an offer for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens tried to get AEW to match it, but AEW refused to match it. So I feel like if he wants to stay in one of the main wrestling promotions, he's probably gonna have to take a pay cut, which has nothing to do with Kevin. Has nothing to do with him and his abilities inside the ring. Because I feel like whenever he wrestles in every single match, he always gives it 1,010%. That's one of the reasons why I love watching Kevin Owens matches. I feel like he definitely does deserve, something better. I'd love to see him with actually earn the title. Like honestly, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be pretty great. So, like I said, this match was like decent, nothing really more than that. It was kind of bad for future storylines because once, like I said, you didn't see Kevin Owens turn heel. There was no bloodline, so the direction of Cody Rhodes' next match is kind of being predetermined. Sorry, excuse me, kind of being predetermined to be like, all right, cool. Now we get to see him fight Solo Sikoa again. Yay, big deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I don't want to see that match happen again. I don't, because if it's not Bloodline rules and Solo Sikoa is going to fight, Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, it's like a cakewalk for Cody Rhodes because Solo Sikoa is that bad. He's not that great of a wrestler. He's not that person to hold the title. Like I said, WWE pushed him way too fast. And right now, without you didn't see any of the bloodline mentioned on Bash at Berlin. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, that doesn't really matter. Like they were on SmackDown. Like Eric, like why are you being so, critical? Like it's a big deal. If he wants to make the bloodline prominent in terms of the professional wrestling industry, you should have had something happen at Bash at Berlin. Like right now you have nothing. Like you have maybe like Jacob Fatu. I feel like his news about his injury was bigger than Solo Sikoa's possible WWE title reign. Like, and then it's kind of sad. It kind of sucks. But I feel like WWE, they need to do, something just something different in terms of the bloodline storyline that they kind of have, going on here. All right, next we have next, also just to kind of, kind of reflect on something real quick. September 13th is going to be the first SmackDown on the USA Network. I feel like 1,010% we're going to see Solo Sikoa take on Cody Rhodes, which kind of sucks, but if I had to make a prediction, and then you're going to have Solo Sikoa, lose the match because of Roman Reigns, and you're going to have Roman Reigns take on Solo Sikoa at WWE Bad Blood. That is my, prediction there. And Roman Reigns is going to come back and screw him over, and he's going to have Paul Heyman, he's going to have Jimmy Uso, and it's going to be kind of crazy, kind of crazy. All right, so next we have the WWE World Women's Tag Team Championship. We have the Unholy Union defending against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And look, this, all in all, the team, I feel like it's here, it's here to stay. Like, I need to stop thinking about Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair in this singles women's title talk. Like, maybe both of them are happy doing it right here. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like when you saw the New Day form, where you'd be like, oh, you have Big E, you have Kofi, you have Xavier Woods, who could all be main mid-card belt holders. But they're like, all right, they want to waste their time being a WWE tag team, which they eventually made it great. So maybe that's what right now that they're doing with Jade and Bianca, because I wanted to see these girls split up. I feel like they'd be better against each other, or, wrestling for singles titles and stuff like that. But, the Unholy Union had to lose. It's getting tired of them just, cheating to get the victory, and they're winning cheaply. And, I don't want to say, like I said, on WWE, you kind of always have the hometown person kind of win. Like when they won the tag team titles, it was that Clash at the Castle in Scotland, their hometown and stuff like that. So, kudos to the Unholy Union for having a decent title reign. But overall, you see Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And at this point, I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm not going to fight it. I guarantee you, I'll give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee on this podcast. I will never, ever, ever utter the words of them breaking up. I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe once or twice. I'm just kidding. No, but I don't know. I guess they're here to stay, and we just got to accept it. We just got to accept it. All right, next we have Gunther, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, taking on Randy Orton. This match was probably the easiest one to analyze because it was exactly what it was. It was an instant classic. It was great. It was great. It was exactly what they needed. Both of them, they had great matches. Obviously, with a veteran, with Randy Orton and Gunther, a rising superstar, putting on great matches. And few things to say, but it was great. And then this match, oh my God, for the bracelet, for all the marbles, I'm just kidding, no, for the bracelet, they did it for the bracelet. Drew McIntyre lost against CM Punk. CM Punk had an amazing standing ovation when he got that little bracelet back. Like I said, I'm not highly into it. I ultimately kind of thought that this match, once again, kind of underlived the hype a little bit. You had the special guest referee against Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, and then now you have the strap match, and it's just, it's all cool and all, but I want to see these guys kind of go head to head. I want to see them go head to head, and probably like a steel cage match or in a Hell in a Cell. You pick. But overall, I feel like these guys kind of owe it because they are split 1-1. They need a tiebreaker. CM Punk already announced that he's over Drew McIntyre, that he's going to try to fight Gunther. But that's not going to be the case. You have to fight Drew McIntyre one more time. There's that third winner take all kind of aspect to it. But overall, I didn't like the match. I just thought it was just, once again, the babyface won. CM Punk won, so it's not like I can be too mad at it. But, I don't know. It's to the point where, like I said, I feel like this thing between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk was kind of improvised because CM Punk was supposed to win the WWE Royal Rumble, supposed to fight Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins also got injured. So I feel like they're just kind of winging it right now. We're just kind of have to zip our mouths shut and go along for the ride. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our next segment, our WWE NXT No Mercy recap. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite drink, and join me here in about like 20 seconds.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So just going to reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review, our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about WWE Bash at Berlin, and now we're going to talk about WWE NXT No Mercy. And we are rapidly running out of time, so let's go ahead and, kind of jet fuel this a little bit here. Don't want to go over because it'd be like, hey, Eric, why don't you just go live anyways? All right. So we have our WWE NXT No Mercy recap. We are live at the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. First match, we had Nathan Frazier and Axiom try to get their NXT Tag Team Championships back from Chase U. They were successful. They were overall the better team. And they were, I feel like Chase U, it was a short reign. Man, it was a short reign. Kind of bad. I feel kind of sorry in the way it kind of ended. But I kind of, I knew for them to lose the titles, Rich Holland had to kind of, go back to the way he was. He destroyed Chase U after the match. Oh my God, it was crazy. And they have Thea just, Rich, no, Rich, like, and it's just like, oh my God, like, what do you expect, dude? Like, it's crazy. But I don't know. I feel like Rich Holland, he didn't really fit. I don't know. I kind of fell in love with the Rich Holland from Chase U. I thought it was actually kind of cool, but maybe, maybe that's just my, sensitive wrestling fandom talking. But, so now he's once again an outsider. Once again, he does not have a crew. He's probably going to fight Chase U for future. Maybe he finds a way to team up with Pete Dunne once again and make it super personal, where they challenge Andrade, Jace, and do cuts in. But the way it kind of all happened out, I was like, all right, like it seemed a little forced, but I'm for it. I'm cool with it. Nathan Frazier and Axiom are an amazing tag team. They're probably way better tag teams than a lot of people on the NXT roster. And they're just a great watch. They warmed up the crowd today, and they fought Chase U. Well, not today, but obviously speaking on behalf of the No Mercy. And you have to give them the titles. You have to give them the NXT World titles because they're that damn good, and they're just good for the NXT. And then you saw the Rascals. You had Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel challenge Axiom and Nathan Frazier for the NXT World Tag Team title, so it should be pretty cool to find out what happens next after that. Next, we saw Wesley lose to Zachary Wentz. It started off a little slow. Got to be honest, it did start off a little slow. It felt kind of like they were kind of testing each other a little bit, testing the waters, kind of seeing their athletic abilities if they do mesh in a match. But overall, it did, and it turned out to be a great match. Zachary Wentz is obviously still built up after the momentum of winning the TNA X Division Championship at TNA Emergence that happened on Friday. So, I'm excited to see him and Trey Miguel do better things inside WWE NXT. But overall, got to congratulate Zachary Wentz. Next, we have the NXT Women's North American Championship match between Wendy Chu and the defending champion, Kaylani Jordan. This match was all right. It was all right overall, but it just seemed like some weird booking because you had Wendy Chu, then you had you had this American Olympian like sweetheart, kind of the Simone Biles of WWE NXT, Kaylani Jordan, former gymnast, by the way, and she's great. So it just seemed weird to me. Like I felt like overall the ladies, they gave it all they got. The best part was probably once when the match ended, and I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but then you saw Tatum Paxley get involved with Wendy Chu, and I was like, you know what, that makes sense. This makes sense. You kind of have two ladies that kind of come off the same like kind of spectrum in terms of like being weird, ominous, and like horrific. But I don't know. It just this match just seemed, compared to like the men's matches, like it's kind of like seeing Bray Wyatt going up against like somebody like just think of a sweetheart that Well, I don't know. That's kind of makes it kind of cool. Maybe I did miss some of this match. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Overall, I just feel like it could have been better. Could have been a lot better. But overall, Keilani Jordan did her thing. Showed why she exactly is she's the best. She's the only one to hold the WWE NXT North American Women's Championship. And so far, she's lived up to the hype and she's doing pretty damn well, which I'm so proud of her. That's awesome. Next, we saw the NXT North American champion Oba Femi defeat the Dawn of NXT Tony D'Angelo. Just a powerhouse bout. Just kind of two behemoths of power going at each other. So at the same time, it was kind of cool, but I was kind of like, all right. It's kind of like we're seeing the Big Show against Kane here. I'm just gonna know. No, but it was great. It was great. Oba Femi, what is NXT gonna do with this guy? What's next for Oba? What's next for the Dawn of NXT? No one could defeat Obafemi. So that's why I'm thinking maybe someone from TNA will come over eventually. Maybe Josh Alexander, maybe somebody like Moose of the System invades, NXT. I feel like there's going to be a huge invasion angle heading toward, Survivor Series, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be highly viewed. It's going to be probably the best, Survivor Series angle. Although when you did have that triple threat between NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, that was pretty badass. That was pretty cool. But I don't know. It's gonna make for some pretty good TV, and then obviously building up toward the CW. Their first episode will air October 1st. So yeah, they kind of have to make something big happen. Next, we saw the WWE NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez fight against Jada Parker. Being honest, and I do love Roxanne Perez, and I do respect her talent. It looked like kind of Jada Parker was sort of kind of pandering to the size of Roxanne Perez. Like kind of like to the speed and stuff, like kind of like when you saw Bianca Belair take on Becky Lynch. I think it was at WrestleMania. I think it was. Where you kind of like I was watching it and I was like, all right, I think it was WrestleMania last year. Like I saw it and I was like, all right, I get it, I get it. But it just seemed like Bianca Belair was slowing down, much like you saw Jada Parker in this kind of predicament. And I don't know, although Roxanne Perez is really very, very good, but Jada Parker, she's a star to be noticed in the future. Once again, a match. It was a great match for Jada Parker, win or lose. Post match, you saw Julia. Julia finally, after being rumored all over the professional wrestling industry, makes her debut. Finally confronts Roxanne Perez, and heading into October, maybe Roxanne Perez loses that NXT title. Maybe she does. It would make for some pretty good TV. But overall, I don't. She has represented the women's division very, very well. So can't be too skeptical about it. Next, we had Ava announce on No Mercy that there's going to be a triple threat match for a feature at the tag team title shot. There's also going to be an NXT title bout that will happen. That will be on the line on the very first episode of the CW's NXT premiering October 1st. I think that's great. I feel like I feel like that's appropriate. It's gonna be awesome. Joe Hendry of TNA takes on the WWE NXT World Champion Ethan Page. And oh god, he came so damn close. But then stuff had to hit the fan. Oh my God, I believe in Joe Hendry, America, Scotland, Canada, Mexico. No, it was great. It was a good match for Joe Hendry. After the match, you saw him shake hands with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was like, "Hey, come back anytime you want." So it's not the last time you're going to see and last time you're not going to see Joe Hendry in NXT. But although I think maybe he is going to take maybe like a week or a week and a half hiatus, then Ethan Page has the title defense October 1st. Will it be Trick Williams who called it right down the middle? You got to love what Trick Williams did on this match. Pete Dunne. Oh, Pete Dunne. Why, Pete Dunne? It was a good match. Overall, it was a good match, and Ethan Page retained the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship. And I guess we gotta love it. We gotta be content with it. We gotta accept it, which sucks because we believe in Joe. We believe in Joe. All right, so before we end tonight, just gonna hit on the WWE Women's Speed bracket real quick, which is kind of cool because I love this for the women. I love that they're getting their name out there. I love that women's wrestling has evolved so much, and I feel like this is groundbreaking. Although I'm not a huge fan of WWE Speed, I'm not a huge fan, but since it's here to stay, why not use it to promote some amazing talent? So we're going to talk about it when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right. We are live here on the GSMC Sports Network, talking about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We had our WWE Bash of Berlin review. We also talked about WWE NXT No Mercy. So let's go ahead and hit this off. It's going to be sick. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, let's go and talk about our, the WWE Women's Speed division. Should be pretty awesome. Overall, some pretty good matches, but I wonder if WWE is they're going to do it right. All right. So, guys, we have the first ever women's tournament for Speed, which is great. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of WWE Speed, but if we're going to use it to promote top talented women inside sports entertainment, I'm all for it. So yeah, you see the bracket right here in front of you. So let's go ahead and dig on into a little deeper for the matches we have. First, we have Io Sky taking on Lyra Valkyria. Kind of a shame that this is a first round match. This looks like a finals match. Okay, let's go back to the bracket. Yeah, maybe you have Lyra Valkyria taking on Piper Niven, and then you see a shocking win. So, but I wanted to see these two girls kind of kind of be the finals. They had an amazing match. They made record history in the women's division, having a long match on Monday Night Raw like about 2 months ago. And both of these girls are very, very talented. Very, very talented. Them kind of fighting against each other so early. A lot of people think Lyra Valkyria is going to win, which I feel like that's going to happen. I'm going to go along with the crowd here. I'm not going to be a trendsetter and be like, no, you're wrong, Io Sky. I feel like WWE has plans with Io Sky. With Damage Control, I feel like she's going to be within the tag team division for a little bit here. So she's going to take a break from the singles wrestlers, unless maybe you have somebody like Asuka come back. Maybe she finds a way to, defend or to fight with Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors reunited when she comes back from injuries, and Io Sky finds a way to, make it to the finals. But overall, I have Lyra Valkyria taking on this one. Next, we have Naomi going against Blair Davenport for the second time. These women once, kind of like where you see Carmelo Hayes, Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk. These girls are tied. They've each got even wins against each other. Blair Davenport, obviously so evil as she is. What is she? Australian? I think she's Australian. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But, I think for this match, and the winner's going to take on Lyra Valkyria most likely. I could be wrong. I want to see Blair Davenport win. A newbie from NXT, still trying to prove her name. Naomi's already prestigious. She's kind of untouchable in terms of people like, oh, like she's fallen off. She's, she sucks now. She's not part of the wrestling circuit anymore. I don't believe that at all. I think Naomi's a gift. I think she's a gift from the gods of professional wrestling because, whenever she's inside the ring, she has good promos. She has great matchups, and she just makes sense in WWE. I don't want to. You can't really see her anywhere else. She's a talented superstar, very, very talented. So I don't know. A lot of hate thrown to. Obviously I read a lot of posts on social media and be like, Naomi's all washed up, but I don't believe that 1 second. I believe she will get a chance at the brass ring once again. Next, we have Kairi Sane taking on Elektra Lopez. Much like Io Sky, I have Kairi Sane being not injured. Oh God, hope that doesn't happen. God, please don't let. I didn't mean to curse Kairi Sane. But I think Elektra Lopez, picks up the victory. Like Io Sky, I see her being eliminated in the first round, so they can focus more on damage control. But they're trying to revamp that. They're trying to make it last without the whole Bailey thing, and I believe that they are actually going toward being baby faces, which is great. I would love to see them. Kairi Sane is such a hidden talent in WWE. I want to see her do better, and she's great. She's great. Well, all these women are great, but I feel like overall you kind of need that attitude. You kind of need that attitude in the quarterfinals. I have Elektra Lopez winning this one against Kairi Sane. All right, Piper Niven against Candice LeRae. Not really much to say. Piper Niven's going to win this one, which kind of sucks because Candice LeRae, much like her husband, Johnny Gargano, ever since being introduced into the main roster, has been kind of being spoon-fed just crap. And it kind of sucks because, it's not an indictment on their skills, their wrestling abilities. It's just the fact that there's just way too many superstars that serve a purpose. And it's hard to keep everybody happy. It's hard to keep the fans happy. It's hard to create storylines that actually does make sense. You could have shorter title reigns, but if you do, then the title itself becomes less prestigious. But I don't know. Piper Niven obviously going to pick up the dub against this one. You're going to see Elektra against Piper Niven. I think Piper Niven's going to move on to the finals, and I don't think anyone's going to stop her. I don't think anyone's going to stop Piper Niven. I feel like she's going to make it all the way to the end, which quarterfinals, semifinals. Oh no, this is for Raw. I think no, wait, the SmackDown too. So I don't know. It could be interesting. Could be pretty damn interesting. She takes Piper Niven defeats Elektra Lopez to make it to the finals. I believe. Blair Davenport and Lyra Valkyria. I could imagine them because they were pushing Lyra Valkyria so hard when they signed her. And when she got drafted to WWE Raw, maybe she finds her spot on WWE Speed. But I don't know, it's up in the air, which is great. Unpredictability within the professional wrestling circuit is amazing. That's kind of what us fans love to hear. That's kind of what we love to see. You can predict a whole episode of SmackDown. What's the fun in that? What's the fun in that? All right, guys. So, hey, that's it for me today. Hope you guys had a great Labor Day. Hope you guys are spending time with your loved one. I love you guys 1,010%. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network. Remember to follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I had not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have a whole bunch of other shows. The NFL is right around the corner. We got the GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast with Manny. We have the GSMC Football Podcast with my boy Kenneth. We also have, Jeremy Sports by GSMC with Jeremy. GSMC Sports Podcast by my man TJ. We also got Chris Shepard with GSMC Fantasy Sports, Fantasy Football. Obviously very prominent. Find out your sit-ems. Find out your stardoms with my boy Shepard. Guarantee you, he will give you all the content and all the information you need to make sure your fantasy football season goes as smoothly as possible. We got my man Nelson with GSMC Basketball. We have Tommy with college, the GSMC College Football Podcast. All amazing people. We got my boy Emran with the GSMC Soccer Podcast as well. So make sure you tune into all those podcasts. Definitely love those guys. They're definitely, I watch their shows. I learned from them. They definitely made me a better podcaster. So, definitely got to give kudos to them. Tune into the shows, and I guarantee you that you will not regret subscribing to the GSMC Sports Network and watching, these amazing shows. All right, guys. So, hey, that's it for me. Stay beautiful, like I always say. And of course, love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's